Do you find that people all come together and join in? And I know they join in because they're there.
Sure.
What I'm saying is are they all united and do some like bond and stay great friends?
Yeah, it's a good question actually. The hidden side about joining a good martial art club is that you make friends basically. You bond together. I've got students that some of them work in the city, some of them are car mechanics, some of them are people that do diverse different occupations. We've got people from all ethnic backgrounds. We've got white guys, we've got coloured guys, we've got men, women, boys, girls. And what I love about it is that there's a sense of it's not being different, but we're coming together all as a family unit almost. And it's wonderful to see everybody getting along with each other, all wanting to learn something that'll keep them safe on the street, and above all else, not caring about who somebody is or what their background is.
So you're all very united. And how many clubs do you actually have yourself?
Well, we have up and down the country. I have in London, there's about over 10, but up and down the country there must be around about 25, 30 clubs. And of course we have clubs, my system, all over the world. I have clubs in America, all over Europe, in Germany, in Spain, and Poland, in Russia. And we have club in Tokyo, in Japan. So we're quite diverse actually. And as you know from the last interview I did here, I'm all over the world teaching and holding seminars. I'm invited to do at those clubs and other clubs.
Of course, you've got the website. We might like to
sure, let me
that out.
Give that to you. That's www.ty-ga.co.uk.
Lovely. And because Ace likes madness, we're going to play one now. All right, madness coming our way. Madness there. I have with me in the studio, have you just switched on Gary? He's 10th Dan in martial arts. I'm Mike Quinn, who don't know anything about martial arts. I might like to ask you this time around, Gary, what makes the tiger different from other arts?
Well, it's a good question because, although all martial arts are similar in certain aspects, there are big differences individually in different arts. The big difference in the tiger martial arts system is basically the realistic self-defense. A lot of martial arts that are very traditional teach things for the traditional aspect, in other words, that it is been taught that way for a number of years. But for street defense and for realistic fighting, it wouldn't be effective out on the streets in the year 2007. So the tiger martial arts is a system, my system, that works in the street and works where you need it, but also produces fighting champions that want to go into competition. So you have the actual real street fighting self-defense aspect, and you also have the technical aspect where you can enter the competitions and win the point training and the full contact. And you have the other element that's very, very important in Tiger, which is what you hinted at and mentioned in knowing me, is the calmness and the self-confidence that it gives through the regime of training, but also the mental approach to training. The psychological approach is very much what a Tiger lesson is about. We don't only talk about just kicking and punching, it's about how we feel about training, how we cope with danger, and what to do if you're faced with danger.
And you teach people the balance, because you've only got two legs. Is that one of the first things you would teach, the balance?
It is. One of the
how to
things.
stand and so on.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. One of the things you first teach any beginner is to learn how to use their arms and their legs to feel comfortable with themselves. Their awareness, their physical awareness to their body, and that leads to great physical fitness. Because if you're going to become fit at anything or achieve anything physically, you first got to know how your body functions. You've got to learn the mechanics of your body almost, and then progress learning the skill element of self-defense or training or fitness. So yes, that's what we teach, and we have I have many DVDs out on stretching and fitness and kicking and sparring, and all these DVDs are very important because they give anybody the first step along the road of self-defense or, more importantly, fitness.
I've noticed you're on a lot of covers, front covers of martial arts magazines. In fact, the not just one or two, but there's a lot on by there.
About 14, I think.
Yeah,
World magazines.
I know I've got a couple myself, and there you are on the front page.
Yeah.
And so obviously you're well respected in that circle.
Well, it's true to say that you don't, achieve that many front covers. I recently heard from the editor of Combat magazine, Paul Clifton, that I've actually been on more front covers than Bruce Lee, which is something I didn't realise, and it's quite an achievement that you can't make happen yourself. It either happens or it does.
Because I did ask you last year, I said, do you publish these magazines yourself?
I don't, not at all. I mean, that's one way for anybody to get on the cover of magazines, but no, it's in itself that I'm very proud of the fact that all the different editors from around the world, America, Europe and Britain, have thought I'm worthy enough to go on the cover of these things, and it really is quite an achievement I'm proud of.
Well, in your field, you are a star, and so's Elvis. And here he comes now. Where's Elvis got to? Elvis, thank you. Oh. So, explain what you're doing there.
Remember, for those that didn't see earlier, were reprised, that what we did was that punch coming across we covered, same hand struck, hitting the throat, and then we hit with a kick.
Oh, what action there from, that was the left foot coming up from Gary, and you'd never seen anything move so fast.
There you go.
Perhaps we could have that left foot again.
Yeah, sure. So again, we covered the punch, we struck, and then we just flew up.
Wow.
Into the midsection.
Did that hurt, Ace?
He wouldn't say it did. Thank you. The other point about this for the viewers and the people in general, when you're covering, using the same arm that blocks the strike, and then using a low kick and then a double kick. So 1, 2, and even a third kick, just there.
Wow, that is fitness.
Good. And fitness. You won't have to do that on the street, hopefully, but that gives you what I'm about and what hopefully one day you'd be able to do. Moving on now, for the common thing is knife attacks. So we imagine that our opponent is threatening us with a knife, simulated by his fingers there. So the first thing to do is take your target area from head on to side on. Still play the game that he's attacking you, go to side on and push away, grab the wrist, point the knife away from you, roll the wrist, take him down, and then finish off with a punch and move away. So I'll help
his attacker up from the
help
floor.
In the hospital.
Which
I'll try not to. So again, you see, your head on attack your face, push and step out so that you've covered the wrist, not the blade. You've rolled that wrist. You could even do a strike, head strike, there's many things, strike, and then roll that wrist. You could even follow down and take him down, and then make your exit away and get the hell out of it, basically.
Brilliant stuff.
And the last thing we'll show you along this, again, if you imagine where it's even a gun attack, if you're confronted, obviously, you can't do much when you're faced there, but again, show you're scared, and then use the push away, twist away, so that the gun or the knife is pointing away. Use the elbow, use the stamp, not twist him, take him down, roll him over, and then call for an ambulance. Not for you, hopefully.
Right.
Thanks, Asa.
Well done there, Ace. So, congratulations. And what dan are you at now, Ace?
Second dan.
Second dan.
I'll be doing my third dan in February.
And you've been training since you were 6?
Since I was 4.
4?
Even younger, that's right. So do
you remember Ace when he was 4?
Yes, I do. He was a small boy that was kicking and punching everything in sight at the time, and it's true to say that he's turned out to be an excellent student. And as I mentioned earlier today, he used these techniques to look after himself. What better advert for martial arts than that?
I can't believe it. It's time to go. Gary, always great to see you.
Thank you, Mike.